So welcome everybody to today's free clearing. So today we're going to be talking about money and how we can have unconscious resistance to creating money, to receiving money, to generating money. So let me know where you're all joining me from today. Okay, so there are many different things that can cause us to separate from the energy of money. So in truth, money has different components. It has the energetic component, it has the physical component. And on a higher level, we are one with the energy of money. Yet we have all of these belief systems, energies, perceptions that create the illusion that we're separate from money and create these energetic walls and barriers that do not allow us to receive it. So can we align you with the truth that you are one with money and release all the things in the way of you perceiving that, knowing that, and actually being able to step into the oneness with money? When you're able to do that, it physically shows up from all different places in your life. So let's just find all the energy not allowing that. Let's cancel, resolve, dissolve, choose fortitude from the source point on all levels of your being, AWS precisely. And let's show you how to step into the oneness with money and how many different ways it can actually show up in your life, and just shift out all the things in the way of you knowing that and allowing that to flow into you. Let's cancel it, resolve, dissolve, transform, choose it from the source point on all levels of your being, AWS precisely. So different things will create separation from money. One is where you are in the energy of needing it. So need is to lack. So anytime you need something, the energy behind that is you lack. So one thing I would encourage you to do is stop using the word need, because every time you say I need, you're actually saying I lack, and you're putting that out. And what is that going to create? It's going to create more of the same. So all of the things within you that is creating the need for money, which is the lack of money, can we cancel, resolve, dissolve, choose fortitude from the source point on all levels of your being, AWS. So if you ask yourself right now, if you ask your unconscious mind the question, why do I need money? What is the first thought that comes up? Please let me know. That will allow us to do deeper clearing. So we are conditioned with lots of belief systems about money which create the need for it, which creates the lack for it. So let's find as many of those that can go, and let's release them. Let's cancel, resolve, dissolve. Choose fortitude from the source point on all levels of your being, AWS precisely. So money is attracted to certain energies, and you need to, I say the word need, let me rephrase that. It is required that you embody certain energies to allow it to be able to flow to you with ease. So we can ask the universe, show us what is the energy that I need to embody that is going to allow me to generate money in the physical, and open up all the different pathways to that being able to flow in. And we're going to release the things that does not allow that. So the things will be the beliefs, the perceptions, energy. Let's cancel, resolve, dissolve, choose fortitude from the source point on all levels of your being, AWS precisely. Cancel, resolve, dissolve, choose fortitude from the source point on all levels of your being, AWS precisely. Someone says I need it to survive. Okay, so here's the thing. In different societies, that is a truth, right? But in some societies, it's not actually true. So what I would encourage you to do is change the word need to require, because that has a different energy. But underneath that statement is a lot of belief systems that creates attachment to money, which is a negative attachment, which will actually push it away from you. So when you think of not having money, what I would ask you to do is just tell me what are the feelings that come up for you and name that for me. Because that's going to help us to identify what is actually underneath it that creates the attachment. So let me know what comes up. Let's cancel, resolve, dissolve, choose 4, choose you from the source point on all levels of your being, AWS precisely. So I want you to say out loud 4 times, 5 times actually, I need money to survive, I need money to survive, I need it to survive, I need it to survive, I need it to survive. It's going to bring up the energy. And let's start to clear it out. Let's cancel, resolve, dissolve, choose 4, choose you from the source point on all levels of your being, AWS precisely. So again, tell me what are the feelings that are coming up for you. I'm going to come right back. Fear. Okay, fear of what? So money is attracted to certain energies. And one of the things that attracts it and magnetizes it to you is where you don't have needs or expectations, and you are embodying an energy of calmness, of spaciousness, of joy. How many of you have noticed when you don't need money, you attract money? It's like you're in a good space. How many of you have noticed when things are going really well, you're in a good space, there's this ripple effect of things coming in? And you seem to attract more. That's because you're embodying a vibrational frequency that money actually likes. And also you're embodying a higher frequency, so it brings in more positive experiences for you. But the things that are associated with that feeling of need money, some of you are saying fear, panic, disappointment, sadness, death. They're all lower frequencies. So when you are in those frequencies, it's hard to attract something beyond that. But it's actually different things and different experiences which might be yours, they may be ancestral, that are unresolved within you that actually need to be resolved. And it's those things that create this significance towards money, because when you let go of the significance and the needing of it, the attachment to it, what happens is you're in a space of neutrality. And actually the more limiting belief systems that we let go of and the more things that we resolve within us, we become more joy, space, our frequency increases. And what's happening is we're actually embodying more of divine source energy, the life force that runs through everything. And what is that? Well, that is energy of creation. So that is, it's two things. The money is attracted to that, but also when you free up the constraints, the things that have restricted you, which are the experiences, the energies, and the belief systems, you become more of that. So you can actually direct that to create more of what you want. So let's show you that truth, and let's clear away all of the restraints, the limitations, the fear, the lack. Let's come to resolve, dissolve. Choose voice using from the source point on all levels of your being, AWS precisely. So all of those frequencies and all of the experiences that creates this need, because when we talk about the need of money, let me put it in another way, it's almost like a desperation in regards to money. Can we let that go? Can we cancel, resolve, dissolve, choose void, choose view from the source point on all levels of your being, AWS precisely? So the desperation is being triggered by something else within you. Because within your subconscious, you have belief systems, energies, feelings, thoughts of all your past experiences and some of your ancestral experiences. So these are all reference points. So certain things in your environment will trigger the unresolved things within you. That then gets projected out, and that gets projected onto money. Money doesn't like that. Money actually resists it. It's not a frequency that is conducive to drawing money into you. So you have to let go of the need, the desperation for money, the significance that you place on money. So let me ask a question. Imagine you're dating someone and they have a very strong energy of desperation. They're tugging at you all the time. Maybe they're demanding. How do you feel about that, and what would you do with that? Let me know. Most people don't like that, and it repels them. And it's a similar thing with money. So how many limitations are you carrying that is creating money being repelled away from you? Let's ask that they are found and removed. Let's cancel, resolve, dissolve. Trace fortunes data from the source point on all levels of your being, AWS precisely. So some of the comments are panic and fear. So then if you ask yourself, well, what is this fear and what is this panic really about? Let's take money out of the equation for a moment and ask what it's about. Again, for those of you who said disappointment and sadness, what is this about? And see what comes through. Okay, so let me know. And another question that I have for you, if you just think about money, what is the first feeling that you have about money? What is the first thought that you have about it? Let me know. Because those thoughts and those feelings act as barriers that create a separation between you and money. And you have to resolve those within you to basically heal your relationship with money. So all of the things in the way of you receiving money with ease, can we cancel, resolve, dissolve? Choose fortunes data from the source point on all levels of your being, AWS precisely. So what are the, so let me ask a question. Let's imagine that you're dating money, okay? And if you look at your feelings towards money, and let's put it in this context. So let's say you're dating money and you're at a party. Money shows up, okay? Based on your current feelings, thoughts, and belief systems, are you A, more likely to say, hey, money, welcome to the party. There is plenty of food, drink, music, have a seat. Or are you more likely to say, where are you? You never show up for me. I'm so angry, you're late. But I'm really desperate and I need you, so please don't leave me. So is it A, B, or somewhere in between? So if there's any kind of resonance with B, that is something that needs to be healed and shifted within you, because it's going to push money away from you. Okay? So it's all of those feelings and thoughts that push it away. So let's cancel, resolve, dissolve, choose fortunes data from the source point on all levels of your being, AWS. And how many of the feelings or thoughts that you have about money have nothing to do with money? You know, if you feel like, let me give you an example. Someone says, I feel unsupported by money. So this can tie to your family relationships or significant relationships in your life. So if you didn't have support in your life, if it was a kind of a predominant theme, you are gonna form a lot of belief systems and expectations. That's gonna be like things like, I'm all alone, there's no one there for me, there's no support, I should do everything myself, I will be disappointed, I want help, but people disappoint me, so I'll just do it all myself. Well, here's the thing. So how's money going to come in? A lot of the time it comes in through people. So within all those beliefs, they create walls and barriers that keeps money out. But those belief systems also get projected onto money. So the expectations, the beliefs, the trajectory, that was formed from those formative relationships gets projected onto money and other people. And then it can't come in. So let's cancel, resolve, dissolve, transform, use it from the source point on all levels of your being, AWS precisely. Someone says, I want it all for myself. So why do you want it all for yourself? Ask your mind and see what it tells you. I don't have money, I love it, and I will be left behind. Okay, so I love it, I don't have it, and I'll be left behind. So what does that mean to be left behind? So if you don't have it, there's something that you're not willing to receive in regards to having it. That might not even be about money. That might be a specific energy that your mind believes you're going to have or experience a specific thing if you have the money that you're actually rejecting. And it's usually a form of attempting to protect yourself. So then you can ask, well, what is the energy that I am rejecting in regards to money? And sometimes you need to step into a different energy and you need to make a different choice, or both of those things, in order to generate the money. So anything stopping you from doing that and knowing what that is and keeping you in any state of no action, can we cancel, resolve, dissolve, choose for, choose you from the source point on all levels of your being, AWS precisely. Someone says that somewhere in between, more like B. All right, so then what if you ask yourself personally, how do I feel about money? What comes up for you? I have the feeling that the abundance has been growing. It's going to fall away quickly. Something bad is going to happen and I will lose it all. Okay, that's one of the reasons that people don't create money, or they lose it. So then why would something bad happen? Where does that expectation come from? Because that expectation is coming from somewhere within you. It is an experience that you're tapping into, or a set of experiences that you're projecting and expecting. So ask what that is. And we're going to just ask that all of the channels are opened up. So what is unconscious can be brought to the conscious so that you can resolve it. And let's clear all the things out that's not allowing that to occur with ease. Let's cancel, resolve, dissolve, choose for, choose it from the source plane on all levels of your being, AWS precisely. So let me know what comes up. So I have to sacrifice my freedom for money. So where did you learn that? Another the comment then is, I feel I need to protect myself from money. Something bad will happen. What would happen? Let me know. So all the expectations that you have in regards to bad things happening if you have money, and it's going to be took from you. And how can people really take it from you? So let's cancel, resolve, desire, choose for, choose it from the source point on all levels of your being, AWSIC. The fear of that it's going to be took, or I'm going to be abused or hurt, can come from a feeling of powerlessness. But when you resolve the powerless within you, which can come from where there was past hurt or abuse or victimization, then you step back into your power and you realize that actually it can't be took. But once you shift your limiting beliefs about it as well, you also realize that there's more money. So let's just bring that truth in and let's clear that out. Let's cancel, resolve, desire, choose for, choose it from the source plane and all levels of your being, AWS spicy. So I will never be loved if I have money. Why? So this idea that I have to come to sacrifice my freedom comes from society. But what exactly does that mean? You have to sacrifice your freedom. If you could describe that to me, please do. It's happened to me several times, owing 26,000 in about 7 years. All right. What created that in the first place? Ask yourself that. And is it possible that you are on some level resisting money so that you don't have to pay that debt? And why is it that you don't want to pay the debt? If you ask yourself that, let me know what comes through. How many of you have debts and it just feels like you're swimming in it and you can't get out of it? What if there is a way out of it? So everything in the way of you knowing that, because you can just ask source energy, what is the way for me to pay this off? What are the possibilities? And here's the thing, when you ask a question like that, a couple of things can happen. What you're doing is you're engaging with the law of asking you shall receive. So when you ask a question like that, number one, you might just start to get insights and awareness, or you start to attract the situations that is going to help you to move out of that. But sometimes you have to take an action, and it's the avoidance or the procrastination of the action that needs to be cleared, and you need to choose to take the action. So all the things keeping you choosing the same thing, thinking it's going to make a difference, can we cancel, resolve, dissolve, choose for choose it from the source plane on all levels of your being, names of your society. Someone is saying, I won't be loved because I'm not likable, but I'm trying to understand, why is it that if you have money that is going to occur? That's the part I'm not quite getting. And someone else says, I also have debt and I resist paying it. Why do you resist paying it? If you ask yourself that question, why do I resist paying it? So here's another thing. So higher truth is that we're all part of source energy. We're all part of divine source energy. When you operate and you can perceive that, you know that, you embody that, you start to live your life in a different way. You start to live your life from the perspective of being very aware and using your intuition. You're able to engage with the universe in a different way. You're able to listen. You're able to make choices based on intuition. You're able to perceive the future and what your choices are going to make. So all the things that does not allow that to show up, that's cancel, resolve, dissolve, choose, which is it from the source point on all levels of your being, AWS precisely. But when we operate from the space of the belief systems that we have acquired, those belief systems are wired into us. What we do, and they're in our unconscious mind, and our unconscious mind is like a big data bank with all of this information. What most people do is they live their day-to-day life making choices based on the unconscious mind. So everything that they choose, or the most part of what they choose, is based on the information in their unconscious mind, which is past information, and usually based for a lot of people on past limitations. So what that means is that you're choosing based on limitation. What is that going to create? It's going to create more limitation. So all the ways that you're choosing based on past limitation, can we cancel, resolve, dissolve, choose, choose it from the source point on all levels of your being, AWS precisely. And we make these calculations in our mind. Okay, so in order for me to have, let's say you want something, in order for me to have that, this has to occur. So maybe the mind goes, I need to work 50 hours or 100 hours or for 6 months or a year or 5 years, depending on what it is that you want. And you're making that choice based on the information that you have available to you, largely in your unconscious mind. But that information is limited because there are other possibilities that are available beyond that. Think about the people who do have a lot of money. Why do they have that? And ask yourself, why are they different than me? And let me know what comes up. So let's cancel it, resolve it, dissolve it, choose for choose it from the source point on all levels of your being, AWS precisely. Cancel, resolve, dissolve, choose for choose it from the source point on all levels of your being, AWS precisely. So then what you do is you calculate, okay, in order for me to pay this debt, I have to work 1 year, 2 years, 5 years, or whatever it might be. So then there's a resistance, but it's all coming from lack. But if you can move beyond that and start to engage from the space of interacting with your higher self, allowing your higher self to guide you, interacting with the divinity within everything that exists, because within every molecule of you there is this source life force, this creative force that has created everything that you can tap into, and you can tap into it within everything. And when you're tapping into that, what happens is you start to begin to change your reality in a different way. You start to begin to master your reality in a different way. So let's just bring that truth in, instill that in you, and release the things in the way of that. Let's cancel, resolve, dissolve, choose, voice, you from the source point on all levels of your being, AWS precisely. So part of the resistance to paying the debt is because there's all these limitations and you can't see another possibility. But again, if you just expand out and ask, okay, well, how can I pay this in the easiest way? Something will show up. Again, it can be awareness, it could be insight, it could be money, it really depends. But you also have to be willing to do something different and what it takes. So let's say new insights come up. You can't just sit there and do nothing. And a lot of the time, people will ask for certain things, ask the universe to bring certain things. But a lot of the time, it doesn't show up in the way that you hope or expect. It can show up in a different way. And sometimes you'll miss it. So it can come as an insight and awareness, or you'll manifest something in. But your limited mind will not take a risk because it's afraid. So how many times, let's ask the universe to show you, how many times the universe did show up for you, did provide, but you actually missed it and you didn't take the action. And let's clear out the things that does not allow you to have the conscious awareness of that. As a result, desire, choose what you do from the source point on all levels of your being, age, and precisely. I don't want to give the money because I don't trust their agenda. I'm recent paying money for claiming my marriage. That's why the death debt came in. My financial flow is stretching to a new bracket, and I have resistance to that. Okay, so what is your resistance to paying more? Ask yourself that and let me know what that is. Cancel, resolve, dissolve. Choose what you do from the source point on all levels of your being, age, and necessity, because that bracket can be like a glass ceiling over you, and you're not allowing yourself to go through the glass ceiling because you're afraid or not wanting or resisting to pay more. So like, are you self-employed? That would be one question to ask. And if you are, asking, okay, well, what are the other possibilities? What are the other breaks that are available? Who can help me? And actually calling in the right people. So it's also just looking at it from a different perspective. So all of the glass ceilings that is limiting your money, let's cancel, resolve, dissolve, choose, forward, choose, lead it from the source point on all levels of your being, AWS precisely. I can't create money differently than how I made it till now. So getting a job, paid little, and working out. So why can't you create it differently? So all the limitations that are within you that's not allowing you to see, know, and recognize what other possibilities are available in the creation, the generation of money. Cancel, resolve, desire, choose, choose it from the source point on all levels of your being, AWS. And what do you believe or has been instilled or entrained into you in regards to what you need in order to create money? Let's clear that out. Let's cancel, resolve, dissolve, choose, choose it from the source point on all levels of your being, AWS. You can also ask your money, because remember, the money, the energy within money is life force. So when you're in that space of expansion, you can connect to it and ask, how can you make me money? And what happens is possibilities will show up. So how can my money make me money? So let's bring that in and invite that in and release the things that's not allowing that to show up. As a result, desire, choose, what you do from the source point and all levels of your being, AWS. Here's the thing, we have like infinite knowledge, infinite wisdom within us, and we have access to it. That can be about business, that can be about money, that can be about the creation of money, but we don't access it because there's all of this programming that is above it, and all of the wisdom is underneath it. So another thing is you can have talents and abilities that can actually make you money that you're not aware of. So you can ask, what are the talents? What are the abilities? What are the ways that I have within me that I am not aware of that will allow me to generate money? And when you ask that, you're going to get insight, you're going to get awareness. So just asking that insight and awareness to flow through. And let's release the things in the way of that. Let's consider, resolve, desire, choose, what you do from the source point on all levels of your being, AWS precisely. A lot of the time also, this desperation in regards to money, it comes from, can be about money where there has been lack of money, there has been poverty, that creates an energy. So you're still operating from that. That can be yours, your ancestors, or both. But it can also be difficult experiences that you had where you felt powerless, where you felt helpless, where you felt small. That is unresolved within you. And there can be these unconscious fears like, if I don't have the money, then my circumstances are going to change. And maybe I am going to end up in a place that I was before. So there's this attachment and desperation on to money, which creates a suffocation of money. So that's just one example. There could be like thousands. So then everything not allowing you to see what is creating the desperation, which creates the suffocation of money. Let's cancel, resolve, dissolve. Choose fortune suited from the source point on all levels of your being, AWSIC. Another one can be not feeling worthy of it. So that's just something else to think about. Okay guys, so why else do you need money? Let me know. What is the attachment to money? Another thing is, it's like looking at it from this perspective can actually help you to see where you have negative attachment, where you have desperation in regards to money. So it's like, okay, so if I don't have the money, what is the feeling that it brings up? Let me know. For some of you, it might be a feeling of feeling trapped. So then what is it you believe money is giving you? Well, it can be freedom. And in reality, money can bring a sense of freedom. But if you believe you need the money to have freedom, anytime your bank balance goes down, it will evoke the feelings of being trapped. So there's this a negative attachment and need for money, which repels it. Cancel, resolve, desire, choose which is it from the source point on all levels of your being, AW society. Someone says, I need it to be loved more. Why? So how many of you learned that your value might be from what you do or what you give, and you were never really valued for you? And then what did you learn love was? And is that really real love, or is it a false sense of love? So all the ways that you're operating from that space, let's cancel, resolve, desire, choose which is it from the source point on all levels of your being, AWS society. And maybe there's a learning in this. Maybe it's about learning to love yourself. The infinite love is within you, it's within everybody, but it's the belief systems that create the illusion that you're not loved, that you are not lovable, and that you can't love yourself. So then looking at, okay, well, what are the belief systems that I need to let go of? And what are the experiences that I need to resolve in me so that I can break through this illusion and to be able to receive love? Cancel, resolve, desire, choose which is it from the source point on all levels of your being, AWSIC. So if you were only shown positive attention or love or whatever it was, even if it's false love, if you gave, that can be giving your time, giving your energy, being available, then you learn to associate being valuable and useful with what you give and being used. So there can be this resistance. So if I have money, I'm going to be used more. I'm going to be hurt more. I'm going to be harmed more. But what needs to be resolved is the trauma associated with that so that you can move beyond that. And once you resolve that, you step into your power and you actually learn to love yourself more. When you learn to love yourself more, you can say no. All right, guys, thank you very much. Some kind of dependency to men because they provide and have money. Okay, so there can be some ancestral beliefs there then about money, and men are the providers. That needs to probably be looked at. I'm gonna have to run. I don't have time to go into that today because I have to go, unfortunately. Okay guys, thank you very, very much for joining me. If you just joined or you missed some of it, you can go back and catch the replay. And you're welcome. And you can go back and listen anyway and receive the clearing on a deeper level. So today's clearing is a taster of a webinar that I'm actually offering this Sunday, which is about releasing the need for money and the resistance to having money. So we have that on Sunday morning UK time if anyone would like to join. So for those of you on Instagram, you can go to my bio and find the link there, or go to www.lauramason.co.uk and go into the calendar. For those of you on Facebook, I will share the link with you. Alright guys, thank you very much for joining. Have a great day or evening wherever you are. Bye bye for now. Hello Andrea. Okay, bye bye. Thanks, Teresa. See you in a minute.